Welcome to Great Chefs of the Caribbean, featuring the New World cuisine from some of the island's finest chefs. This time from St. Martin, Thierry Alex. From Jamaica, Norma Shirley. And from the Dominican Republic, Philippe Mongereau.
Norma Shirley has become a sort of culinary ambassador for Jamaica. But what's really amazing about her popular wharf house is that all of the cooking comes out of this pocket-sized kitchen. Her entree features lamb, a meat that was traditionally difficult to obtain in the islands. Goat, which was not, was often used instead.
This is one of our favorite dishes here at the Wharf House. It's a rack of lamb that we do into baby lamb chops, and we serve it with feta and thyme and scallions that is made into sort of a little paste and put on top of each lamb chop and then grilled. So first that we're going to show you is, if you get a rack of lamb, how we're going to literally dissect the rack into little chops. And this is known as Frenching, where you take the skin off the bone, so it's easier for people to handle. And you can have little booties on them if you want to be very fancy and decorative. Usually what we do is give about 3 to 4 chops per person, depending on the size, depending on how many come in a rack. A rack varies from 6 to 7, and usually that's why restaurants tend to, when you ask for a rack of lamb, it's for 2. Now what we do is we're going to use thyme, which is sort of the essence of Caribbean cooking. And we have various thyme here. We have what is known as St. Andrew thyme, and we have a St. Elizabeth thyme. St. Andrew thyme is supposed to be better, it smells better, it has a better essence. I'm not quite so sure about that. Maybe it's just prejudices of the different parishes. This is St. Andrew thyme. And then what we're going to do is mix it with some feta, which is goat cheese, as you know, which we make here in Jamaica now. And this is the concoction we come up with. And we add some scallions to it. Some people call it spring onions, we call it scallions. And we mix all these ingredients together to form a paste which will go on these lamb chops. Okay, so now we have the chops ready, and what we're going to do now is put, say, about half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of this mixture on top of this sort of little, what you call the eye of the lamb. And we're going to dust each with some parsley and some breadcrumbs. And basically why I do this is to protect the lamb, so that the lamb doesn't have too much heat getting on it, and it's sort of encased, like how some people use bacon and that sort of thing. I try to use as little as possible of oils and fats, because people are very conscious now of cholesterol and that sort of thing. So, and we do get the people who come here are very, very conscious. We get tourists. Jamaicans, I think, are not as conscious yet about cholesterol, but you know, who we get here are conscious, so we have to be very careful. Okay, so we do this, we pat this down, we sort of encrust them with and then we just put them in this skillet here. Give me some more. Can give some more? Yeah, great. Okay. This one could use a little more. Thanks. Okay. And we just put it to grill, okay? Sometime what I tend to do is dribble a little vinaigrette over it, which is just lime and vinegar with a little olive oil rather than butter, okay? And we just dribble a little. It's just really to moisten it more than anything else. But as I said, we don't use butter. This is what we call callaloo, which is your spinach. And it's little coarser leaves. It's not quite as refined, but you know, not being prejudiced, I think it has a much richer flavor than you do. And we're just going to use the leaves. I tend to use the leaves and then use the stalks and strip them and use them as asparagus, you know, our Jamaican asparagus. We're going to saute them in a little butter with tomatoes and scallions and a little bit of chopped up the renowned Scotch bonnet pepper, which we are well known for, like chili in Mexico. This is the sort of the essence of Jamaican cooking, Scotch bonnet pepper. You've heard of jerk, I'm sure, and all this stems from Scotch bonnet pepper. Now, I would advise anybody who's using Scotch bonnet pepper, use gloves, or wash your hands immediately afterwards. Don't, for heaven's sake, accidentally go and put your hands in your eyes, because that's just death. Right. We're sauteing a little butter first. Then we're adding some tomatoes. We should have added the onions first. And some onions. Just till they're transparent with a little bit of Scotch bonnet pepper. That's plenty. And we're just going to turn that over. In the meanwhile, we're going to blanch the callaloo. And we just, oh, look at that. What water was in it? We just put it in a strainer over boiling water just to blanch it, so that it doesn't take that long to cook on the fire. It's much easier this way. And this is quickly done. We just turn it over. No. And we want it to stay as green as possible, so there's not much cooking. And this is the end product of it, okay? Okay, and we're just going to be grilling this now on a really nice hot grill. And we're just going to put it under there. Or a broiler, if you for home people. It takes roughly about 5 minutes. Because remember, it's just a lamb chop. It's just an eye. If you overcook it, it's going to get sort of very rubbery and tough. You know, so it really should be served pink. A nice pink lamb chop.
Sautéed shallots or garnish.
First, what we're going to do, we're going to create a little nest with the callaloo right in the center of the plate. Always warm your plate. Please warm your plate first. And just create that little nest. And that's just a nest, what we call a nest of callaloo. And then here now we have, see, nicely done. And we're just going to put them up against the callaloo so that they create like a little pyramid. What we're going to do is styling, as they say they call it, styling. And we're just going to put a couple of these roasted shallots on the side. There we are. Garnish the edge of the, I like parsley because it's fresh and it's good. And there we are, our completed dish.